Thanks for coming out. So sometimes when I get really bored, I like to go downtown for a while where there's a lot of foot traffic and find a shop and buy a purse. Then go back out on the street and put a ski mask on and run with it. Get great reactions out of people, man. That's what I'm about. I feel like it would really suck to be a germaphobe just because I think you'd be offending a lot of people. Every time someone tried to shake your hand and you downgraded them to that elbow bump, it's just not as personal. I feel like you'd be offending a lot of people. But I want to take it up a notch and try to really offend one guy by being a selective germaphobe. Like next time I'm at a party, someone comes and tries to shake my hand, I'll be like, oh man, I'm not comfortable with that. Do you mind? Oh, sure, no problem. Wait for him to watch me while the next guy comes to shake my hand. I'll be like, Tom, you dirty son of a bitch, bring it in, man. And when he's looking at me like, what the hell? I'm like, dude, I've known that guy for like 2 weeks, so don't even worry about it, man. A lot of people in my family really looked down on my uncle and were just really condescending to him. But I always looked up to and admired my uncle in a lot of ways because of all the people on this earth, my uncle's one of the few who's gotten to die doing what he's truly loved. Drugs. My favorite exercise equipment has to be the jump rope, simply because the great thing about jump ropes is that they make jumping up and down in place look a lot less crazy. Like, you can be jump roping outside of your front yard, and your neighbors aren't going to think much of that. They're just going to be like, he's an athlete in training. But if you're just out there jumping up and down without anything, it's going to be a different reaction from your neighbors. It's going to be like, honey, I don't know what's gotten into Bob. He seems to have taken a weird turn after the divorce, but I'm pretty sure we need to move again. There's a big anti-texting while driving movement going on lately. I always see these commercials. They come on and it'll just say something like, yeah, T on the screen. And then a lady's voice comes on. It says, this is the text that Emily was sending before she drove headfirst into a 16-wheel truck and died. And it was a huge eye-opener for me, I've got to admit, because I had no idea. I honestly had no idea that they would read your text after you died, man. That's messed up. Like, I don't know what the end game of that is, but whatever you find, you're just going to make my mom cry harder. I don't know what this goal is. Whenever I'm going out to drive, I don't send it out, but I like to type out a text to my friend that just says, dude, about to crash and die. Just so if they do find something and it does happen, then it gives them a good wonderment. They can't do, we can't put this on, can we? Can't use this for a commercial. I went to a concert about a week ago, and the guy was really good, the lead singer. And he stopped, and before one of his songs, he says, I wrote this song after my wife died. And he played a really emotional and heartfelt song. And I just thought, okay, fine, that works for this song, but now every song you write is a song you wrote after your wife died. It's just going to sound really weird if you bring that subject up before certain songs of yours. I also wrote this song after my wife died. Girls, girls, girls. Everyone has their own way of grieving, I guess. So I'm big into practical jokes as a comedian. One of my favorite things for people to do, I've never done this, but I like the idea of pulling the fire alarm. Everyone's really against it and just talks crap about it and just they're really condescending about it. But I'm very pro pulling the fire alarm. I say screw all those people. I think it's a wonderful practical joke. I think it's so good, I like to make my own signs for fire alarms to replace that in case of emergency crap with. I like to make signs that say things for it like, you know you want to. Go ahead, no one's looking. So I had the pleasure of looking for a criminal defense attorney not too long ago. And that's a really scary situation to be in. I hope you never have to do it. But one of the creepiest things about it when you have to go through that is the name itself. I feel like you're already negatively labeling yourself with criminal defense. Like, I feel like a prosecutor could just get you right. If he's so innocent, why does he need a criminal defense? They should call that shit innocent guy defense. or wrong place at the wrong time defense. So, medical marijuana. Are we for it, against it, or already too stoned to even care? Good. Good for you. You look like... I'm sorry, man. It's right there. Yeah, okay, good. Well, I think I am for it. I definitely am for it. But the one thing I would be against is just that really long list of diseases that it's supposedly able to treat. Like, some things I definitely understand, like depression and anorexia and boredom. I get how it's going to help those. But ADHD is on that list? I mean, really? I mean, that's fine, I guess. I've just never heard a teacher ever say, I had one student who was just really disorganized. He was coming in late all the time. His grades were just on a bad downward spiral. Till he started coming to class high, of course. Yes, his grades have been on the straight path to success ever since then. He's going places, I tell ya. Sometimes I like to ring a neighbor's doorbell and ask to borrow a cup of sugar. And when they bring me in, they're like, sure, here you go. I like to just say thanks and just pour the whole thing into my mouth right there. I'd like to read an email for you guys if I could. This is back from the college days. The setup to this is I had turned in an assignment 3 weeks ago, and I wanted to start on the next one, so I wanted to know how I did. And it wasn't graded yet, so I just sent the head TA an email. Here's what I sent him. Dear John, I am writing to you because about my assignment. It has not been graded 3 weeks after completion, and I'm trying to figure out when it would be graded so I can better start on the next one. Thank you for your time, Alec. Pretty straightforward and polite, I feel. But listen to what this little prick sends back to me. Alec, you need to send all general questions to the help desk. All specific grading questions should go to your administrative TA. We do not provide on-demand grading, and we do not grade in any particular order. And all papers shall be graded within 2 weeks of the completion date as it states in your syllabus. Regards, John. So I've got to send something back to this. I'm not going to take this lying down. Dear John, I did not mean to ruffle your feathers, sir, so please do not get sassy with me. I was trying in no way to be impolite or by any means rude. It is simply my humble opinion that you should stop being such a lazy prick and do your damn job. Regards, Alec. Ah, man. So I want to buy a gun. Just for practical joke purposes, though, don't worry. Responsible use, that's what I'm about. I just really like the ambiance of the effect of cocking your gun, because whenever someone cocks his gun in like a movie or whatever, you know something's about to go down, something dramatic. But I want to use that effect and try to make some people think they've just helped take place in something horrible, and like bestow some guilt on some people, you know? Like maybe just drive around someday, pull up to somebody and ask for directions. Excuse me, do you know where John's All Saints Orphanage is? Sure, you go straight a mile, you turn right 2 blocks, and then you turn left for another mile and you should reach it. Thanks. Oh God, what have I done? We've got a lot of weird traditions in my family, like we've had some birthdays coming up, for example, and in my family, we don't sing that typical happy birthday to you song to people. We try to make it something that's more personal to the person we're singing about. Like my sister, she really likes the Beatles, so sometimes we'll sing her a Beatles song. Or my brother, he recently graduated, so we sang him that Green Day Time of Your Life song. Or my grandpa, he recently turned 100, so we sang him that song. It's the final countdown. Da-da-da-da. One of my favorite phrases of all time has got to be, no need to thank me. I love that phrase. I pepper it in whenever I can. Whenever I'm out with my friends, I'll use it. Even if I've had nothing to do with the good thing that's happened, I'll still be like, no need to thank me. Because when they're like, what are you talking about? You didn't do crap. I'm like, exactly. That's why I said there's no need to thank me. If a need to thank me arises, I'll let you know, 'cause I'll want credit for that. Ah, man. Another one of my phrases, my favorite phrases to use, I love when I hear, "Move it along, people, nothing to see here." A lot of, like, police officers are going to use that. I just love how authoritative sounding it is. But I want to be the first person to use it honestly. Just go down and find a lot of foot traffic somewhere and just start being like, all right, move it along, people, nothing to see here. Move it along, people, nothing to see. Some nosy guy walks up, so what's going on? Nothing, don't you listen, you dumb bastard. Another one of my favorite phrases, I love, "Do I come to your work and tell you how to do your job?" A lot of people with a creative job are going to use that phrase, like a comedian or a singer or a gynecologist. But I think it'd be really funny if you heard someone you're not used to hearing say it. Like, I think it'd be really funny if I heard a hitman say it. Like, if someone's hired him to kill their ex-wife and he's going in for the kill, and the lady's like, "Please, don't do this." And he's just like, "Lady, look. Do I come to your work and tell you how to do your job? No. But nothing. It's disrespectful." I hate when I'm going into a supermarket and I've just come in to buy something small, like a stick of gum or something like that. And the cashier's gonna ask me still, "Would you like to donate a bag of school supplies to a needy child?" And most people, when they're asked this, they just kind of BS their way out. They'll just be like, "Oh, I don't have enough money," or "Oh, no, not right now." But when I'm asked that, I like to give an answer they're not used to hearing. They ask me, "Would you like to donate a bag of school supplies to a needy child?" I say, "I don't know. What color is the child?" No, I'm not racist. I think it's funny as hell. I'm just not one of these guys who goes out of his way to pretend that he's not racist, you know? I actually had a neighbor who was really racist, I found, who lived in my apartment complex. I would always just see him out smoking a cigarette or something, but one day I hung out with him in his apartment, and I got to know him, and I found out he's a really racist dude. He's one of these guys who tries to blame all the crime in this country on one group of people. So I was against that, so I thought I'd try to teach him a lesson one night. When he went to sleep, I put a sign on his door that said, "No black people allowed." And the next day, I mean, his place was messed up, man. The windows were broken, things were stolen, and the things that weren't were pretty busted up. And I came over the next day, and I said, "Look, John, I'm really sorry this happened to you, but I just hope this goes to show you, man, that even when no black people are allowed, this kind of shit is still gonna happen." I don't like environmentalists just because I always feel like they're trying to get me in on their cause and their beliefs that I don't want to be a part of. Like the other day I was walking in a park and I'm walking next to a lake, and an environmentalist sees me and he comes up to me with his big list of survey questions and petitions, and he approaches me and he says, "Excuse me, sir, would you like to take a moment and contribute to our lake's pollution problem?" And he hands me the clipboard. I said, "Sure," and I threw it in. One thing I don't like too much has got to be people, particularly the ones who aren't me. That's a huge pet peeve of mine. And I just say this because everyone I seem to meet nowadays just seems so self-satisfied and wants to pat themselves on the back for every minuscule accomplishment. Like the other day, I'm riding on a bus and I hear this lady say to her friend, "Apple picking this weekend was a success." Like, apple picking, really? That's a thing. Success used to have to mean you needed to make a lot of money, raise a good family, place in a hot dog eating contest. I don't know what your definition is. But apple picking was a success? I mean, that's fine. I've just never heard anyone ask, "Hey, how'd apple picking go?" Don't even get me started. As soon as we got out onto that orchard, everything just went to hell in a handbasket. All right, guys, that's my time. Thank you for coming out.